long have we been in the same room as our kids with no break?
I don't know.
3 days?
At least.
Who needs a break? I need a break.
If not a week.
Okay, it's back to work for this girl. Thank goodness. Gosh, I love my kids, but I am tired and we have spent a lot of quality time together and both the kids are sick. And so I am just so grateful to be heading back to work. But I thought before I stopped in and really got my office work going, I would look at some manure management stuff that we do on our farm because we are hog farmers and that poop's got to go somewhere. So we use our manure for fertilizer on fields that are somewhat in close range. So we can, we drag line it with a hose and a tractor. And so any of the adjoining fields get manure, which helps to put that organic, it's not really organic, but that natural fertilizer back into the earth. It helps us with our manure management program. And then also it helps us save money on synthetic fertilizers. So you can see the lines, it almost looks like it's been planted, but what they do is they have a tiller and it pulls and pumps the manure into the field. And so this entire field has been pumped with manure. Dry, not deep cuts. It's not being over pumped. We do not pump when it is wet and we're never worried about it running off. We don't do our own manure pumping from our finisher buildings because it is really a time issue. We pump in the spring and the fall twice a year if we can get by with that, if we don't have an excessive amount of rain. And we only pump when the fields are ready and equipped to hold the manure. So we would never pump manure on ground that is excessively saturated with water. We would never pump on ground that, you know, couldn't hold it. Big misconception for the general public that maybe isn't familiar with hog production is that maybe with when the manure comes out of the building, it either goes just directly on the soil, it goes directly into a creek, and that just seems so irresponsible to a farmer. And I hope to you guys that are watching that you know that that's just not what we're doing. That seems so crazy. And so in our system, we have two different types of lagoon and manure management systems. So we have a lagoon, as I mentioned, and then we also have a deep pit barn. And the reason for the difference is one, the makeup of the soil. So before we even built our hog buildings, we had to have a manure management plan in place, put together by a engineer, if I can find words, an engineer. And so they come test the soil, they see what the soil can hold. Like we're in a very clay pan in our area. And so on our northern farms, we are able to have lagoons, and the manure that is produced, that land can hold it. And then at our sow unit, that has a different soil makeup. And so with the sow unit and the poop per day, the gallons of manure that will be produced, it made more sense for us to put a deep pit under that barn. Poop per day, like what is that? So I wanted to show you guys here, other than talking about it, you can see here where they picked up their piece of equipment. So they would have shut the poop off and then they would have made their U-turn here and then started back up right here. And so we're staying a conservative distance away from the weeds, away from the extra grass, and we're getting all of those nutrients pumped back into the soil. One thing that I never thought I would do every day is talk about poop and semen, right? It's two things that when I grew up, I didn't think I would say every day without laughing, for one, you know, because farting and fart jokes and poop jokes are really funny. And they still are funny, but it's just a part of our daily life because with pigs, they poop, and we have sow units and we breed sows with semen. And so we pay semen bills and poop bills, and we talk about it on the daily. Right? brand new vest. Somebody just told me that I had this attached. And guess what? The tag's still in the pocket. So my main job is here in the office. Excuse me. I do a majority of our bookwork. So our operation is really complex. We have 12 different entities or businesses, for a better word, that we manage. And some of them are strictly like businesses operated for liability and tax purposes, or some of them are our personal entities. And by personal, I mean like we run all of our, car loan and our house loan and our groceries and stuff out of the personal entity. But we have 3 separate hog entities, 3 completely separate businesses, 2 other farm operating entities. And between my mother-in-law and myself, we take care of all the bookwork. And I have no accounting background. I really enjoyed math as a student, as a adolescent, but I don't think that qualifies you to be a bookkeeper. And so I learn every day from my mother-in-law. I enjoy going out to the field. I enjoy working if I am needed or if I am called to duty, but I also really have an important role here in the office. And so it's just one of those things about balance. I am first and foremost a mother to 2 crazy blonde-haired kids that I love, but no but, just kidding. I love them. There's no but. And so that takes a lot of my time. Second, I am besides being a wife and a child of God, obviously, I am also a bookkeeper, and I am 50% owner in this business that we run together, my husband and I. So I'm a business owner, right? I'm not just a bookkeeper, even though I have piles of bills to pay. Here's one business's bills. Here's another business's bills. And yet a third. Oh, and here's another one. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And my job is just as important as the other ones, because if these bills didn't get paid, we couldn't do that. We couldn't have tractors, and we couldn't purchase fuel for our tractor trailers, and we couldn't get licensed for our pickups. Shoot, we couldn't even pay for our pickups because we'd be delinquent if that was just relied on our farmers to do that. So this is me. This is the dirty of it. I got some cute kids to look at in the background. I've got a full cup of coffee here and podcast on the background. You can't hear it because I turned it off, but podcast going, and I'm going to get to work. I am so far away. I have to now cook supper for 2 kids that are sick. I'm thinking peanut butter and jelly, because I think they're gonna not eat whatever I cook. Maybe an egg and some bacon for Jordan and I. I am gonna make homemade chicken noodle soup tomorrow, but I just haven't gotten back into the groove of anything. My house is a total wreck, as you can tell here. This is replicated across the entire house, as we are recovering still from sickness and being away. So yeah, I think it's PB&J night tonight. I don't really care. I mean, at least the kids are sharing, right? They're playing the iPad. Tonight I'm being a yes mom. And I'm gonna tell myself yes to feeding them crap. And I'm gonna tell myself yes to putting them to bed early. And yes to having a drink.